Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Bassant. I'm the president and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and this is our Chamber Talk Show series. And today I am here with Romina, and she's with Abbot Florist. Romina, it is so great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Brittnie. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited. And so for those of you that don't know, Romina is the owner of Abbot Florist. It's an amazing local florist shop in North Beach, in the heart of our Miami Beach community. So tell me about the history of Abbot Florist.
Abbot Florist is a family business owned at Miami Beach, especially North Beach, since over 3 decades now. I'm a third generation florist. My parents immigrated from Argentina back in the 90s, and they opened Abbot Florist to continue the family legacy here in USA. And now my husband and I proudly continue with the business. For us, Abbot Florist is just not a business, it's a family story. It goes way back since my great-grandparents used to have a florist in Argentina.
Wow, that's incredible. And then you have a really fun story about the name, right? Because I always want to be like, your last name is Abbott or the family's name is Abbott, but that's not the case. And I don't know if I'm outing you, but I think it's cute.
That is super true. I get asked that question every single time. Abbott, my parents bought the flower shop from the previous owners that had it just for a year. It was located in Abbott Avenue, right on Miami Beach. And the name came from the avenue. But when my parents moved the shop to where it is right now on 71st Street, they kept the name because back then people used to search for florists in the yellow pages.
Right.
And it was ABBOTT. So it was one of the first florists you find on the yellow pages. So my parents thought it was interesting way to advertise and to be the first one in the book.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that's such a great creative marketing tool. So tell me about, because this is part of your family legacy. Like, you've been doing this forever. I mean, Abbot Florist, 30 years, but you have a history with flowers.
Correct.
Much longer than that. So tell me of some of your earliest memories of working with flowers.
I would say pretty much I was born in a flower shop. Since day one, I was surrounded by flowers. My great-grandparents, to my grandparents, to then my parents, and now myself. I just love flowers. It's part of my life. It's part of my identity. I feel like it is who I am. Everywhere I go, the first thing I look at is the flowers. It's just where my eye caught the attention. I will say being a florist and being a flower shop, I learned when I was a baby, not I would say a baby, but when I was very young, I will help my mom back in Argentina to create floral arrangements. And she would let me be creative since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And she will be creating arrangements for a special occasion, and I will hang in the flowers to her. And then she would tell me, why don't you create your own stuff? And I was at early age that I learned how much flowers are important to people, especially communicating through like different events. Like the florist is there for the wedding, for the bar mitzvah, for the communion, and the Latinos for the quinces. So there's a lot of different emotion that goes in just with the floral arrangements.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when you think, like you said, flowers are so integral to so many large milestone celebrations in a person's life. And you have the opportunity to be a part of that. So I want to talk about that because there's a whole conversation we can have about that. But you said 3 decades, over 30 years, you guys have been mom and pop, local, family owned in the heart of North Beach. What does that mean to you? Tell me a little bit about that, being able to say that you're one of the longest standing businesses in North Beach, and the legacy there.
Perfect. I would say to me, it's an incredible feeling. I am beyond proud that I'm able to continue with this family legacy. 35 years to be exact. God willing, we'll be celebrating in November. We'll have a big party. We'll announce it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yay. We love a good party. Yes. Let's do it.
35 years is a great achievement. So we definitely have to celebrate that.
Absolutely.
And as being a florist, I would say since my parents, there's like a little story I would tell you. My parents had wedding for a couple that came into the shop 30 years ago. And then after that, we did the daughter's quince after the weddings. And then we did the daughter's wedding flowers. That's when I was already at the shop. And now a couple of years ago, we did the daughter's baby shower flowers. And now we just had the baby 1 year birthday.
Oh my God.
So for me as a family-owned business, it's just so beautiful to be part of a family for 35 years.
And you know that you're going to be doing the baby's 1 year flowers. You know that you're going to be doing her wedding flowers.
That would be
eventually like it's going to be like the grandparents and then the parents and then the daughter, and that's what legacy is. And it's so meaningful to be a part of something like that. So now you're in charge of this. You've taken over. This is the florist shop. You are the leader here. What are some of the lessons that you've learned in that role?
Exactly. Well, my husband and I would run it together. And unfortunately, during the
Shout out to your husband. Give your husband a shout. You have to.
He's the mind behind the curtains. I have to give it to him because it's amazing. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it without him, because a flower shop, even though it's a beautiful industry, it's a very high demand and a lot of hours put into it. So there's a lot of work that goes behind that no one sees how much into the creation of the event.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that, right? So we think about flowers.
Yes.
And there's a lot of creativity that goes into it. But eventually, like at some point, I feel like you kind of have done it all, right? Like, how do you continue to keep it unique and original and ever changing? And like, what are the trends in the floral industry? And what are we seeing these days? And what flowers are hot? And are carnations ever going to make a comeback? Because I personally love them. But like, how do you continue to be creative when you have to be creative every single day, Romina? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's one of the, I would say, hardest thing in the industry, is because everyone wants to waiting to stand out, to be unique, different from the everyday look. So, and one thing that we keep at Abbot Florist, that I keep it myself, and I think is very important, that we keep the old school, because we have a lot of customers have been with us for 35 years. And they like the traditional, I wouldn't say old fashioned, but the traditional look. But we do keep the contemporary and the modern. So that's one thing that I identify as a business, that I keep both going. So it's not only the modern style that I will cater to, but I also keep the traditional to keep my customers happy if they want that look. And myself, I do a lot of workshops. I visit a lot of different shows that they create for flowers. And everywhere I look, I see an inspiration. I look at a lot of videos. I try to keep up to date. But I will say to every bride out there, like I tell them when they come to visit me, it's not what's trending, it's what you like. It's what makes you happy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember I was as I frequent your floral shop. I love it. It's the best place to get flowers in Miami Beach. And I was in there, and you'll remember what it was. But I saw the most unique flower. I feel like is not the right descriptive word, but it was like a moss ball with little flowers in it, and it was so beautiful. I love flowers. I attend a lot of events. I'm always kind of scoping out their centerpieces, and I had never seen something like that. And you were telling me it was sort of a newer flower. You're going to call it a flower? A newer flower on the scene. And so how do those things kind of come about?
Perfect. So that particular flower you're describing to me is called dianthus.
Yes.
Or they call it the green trick in certain places, or the green ball as well. It's, believe it or not, it's from the carnation family. So
yes. Carnations.
So they're like
my OGs.
The carnations. And it's a very fun flower. I would say it started coming around maybe like 5-6 years ago, but it's been trending for the past 2-3 years. And it lasts over 2 weeks. People love them. And it's the kind of flower that you could include in a tropical arrangement. You could include in a modern look, and you could just do it by itself. It's a beautiful flower.
Absolutely gorgeous. That's incredible. And I love seeing stuff like that, because when you think you've seen it all, you walk into Romina's shop, and you see it sitting on the counter. You're like, what is that? I want to learn more about that. What would you say the most unique arrangement you've ever done?
I would say unique. Well, like I said, we do a lot of different things, but unique, I love working with different elements, like not only flowers, but we'll include like wood or different things to the designs. Unique per se, I would say it's kind of hard to describe one, because we do a lot of different unique pieces. And the most important thing to me as a flower shop owner, and what I treat my team also to do, is that you tend to want to sell what you like. But we listen to our customers. We want to make sure they get what they want. Because as a florist, it's simple for us to mention what's trending and what we like ourselves. But maybe the customer comes in and she wants this look that we personally, not that we don't like, but we're not used to it. But once we've done it, we're like, wow, this looks amazing. Because we learn from our customers too sometimes when they request unusual things.
Yeah. And I was going to say, it goes more than just arranging flowers, right? It's about connecting people and being a part. We said this earlier, being a part of very meaningful events, whether it's a wedding or a birthday or an anniversary or, even the just because flowers. Those are all, it's such a meaningful thing. And so having that relationship with your customers is so important. And is there a special moment or a special memory or is there anything that really stands out as like something that, wow, this is so much more than just we're doing flowers for an event, but we are creating memories.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, like every industry has the sad part when we have to create funeral work. That to us is the saddest part of it, because most of the pieces that we do, it was for a customer of ours. So let's say the children will call and order flowers for the parents. And it's sad because they were customers for years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're honored to do the flowers for them because we know exactly what they would like. And that to me makes me very happy, because the children would call and said, they would trust and said, my mom very well. What would you think she would love to have at her funeral? And
wow.
it's sad, but at the same time, I'm able to provide during such a difficult time for the family that they're dealing with. I'm able to provide some ease to them by just I have the flowers, we'll take care of it. Do not worry about that particular problem. The difficult of creating a funeral. So it's not easy.
I actually never thought about it that way. And that's a really beautiful way to think about it. And it's your final gift. And that way that you can help, like you said, ease with a difficult period. And that's so beautiful. And that's why, listen, anyone can go to the store. We see it on, social media. You can go to Trader Joe's and make like a gorgeous bouquet of flowers from, picking up some bouquets there and arranging. But that's why, you want to find your local mom and pop florist that's been a part of the community, that's invested in our community, that gets to know you, gets to know your family, knows what you like, knows what you understand. Like, we'll do your wedding's flowers and then your daughter's flowers and then your granddaughter's flowers and carry that legacy on. And speaking of being a part of the community and going back to the 35 years in North, 35, jeez, that's amazing. That's almost as old as I am in the world. I'm 36. So like we're right there. That's incredible. Talk to me about how you've watched the city evolve, the North Beach part of Miami Beach, because it has evolved and it's continuing to grow and evolve. So talk a little bit about how you've seen the community grow and evolve and change in the 35 years.
Well, I seen it, like I said, my parents opened the shop back in 1990. So the changes we see in North Beach are amazing. I mean, I'm very active in my community. I'm part of the Normandy Fountain Business Association with David Sexton, which is amazing.
Shout out to David Sexton, doing incredible work in our North Beach area.
Exactly. No disrespect to the mayor, I call him North Beach Mayor.
There's a bunch. It's fine. It's fine. And it's okay because Mayor Minor, our city of Miami Beach mayor, is also he's very acknowledging of the leaders, community, like those individuals that are so deeply rooted in our community, like Ray Breslin's like the unofficial mayor of like Collins Park and David Sexton's the unofficial mayor of North Beach. And the beauty of it is that we all work so closely together and so well together, and there's no competition and there's no ego, and it's just everybody wanting to do what's best for the community. And I've seen Mayor Minor at events where he will acknowledge the unofficial mayors of these various communities. And I think it just shows the community that we have in Miami Beach. So yes, David Sexton, huge shout out to you. But sorry, go back to talking about.
I mean, it takes a village, like you mentioned.
It really does.
It takes a village, and we all work together to make this amazing for the community. So during North Beach, I saw Normandy Plaza used to be a two-way street back then in the 90s. Then in the early 2000s, it became a one-way street. And then mid to 2000s, it came into the plaza that is now. So I've seen all the changes, and I have seen how that particular plaza had become so important for the small businesses. I mean, we all look forward to have events at the plaza, at the Normandy Fountain. And during those events, which I have been the honor to be part of a couple of them, I'm the one that does the Viva Argentina every year. I'm on my third year now. And it's always free to the community, which is a great thing to have. And it's also good for the businesses around.
Didn't and Normandy Business Association, Normandy Fountain Business Association, Normandy Fountain Business Association. Got it right. Sorry, David.
NFBA.
Took me 2 tries. they host a number of events. There's always something coming up. There's always something that they're always doing. And you're right. They try their hardest to make it free for the community, to make it very inclusive, very family friendly, open to everyone. And you are, I think at every single one, you are a staunch supporter. You believe in it. You believe in the events. You believe in giving back to the community. So thank you.
No,
Thank you so much for that.
I love to be invited. Actually, we had an event yesterday. It was a cultural crawl that we had yesterday evening. And you'll be surprised. I don't know. You've been to one of them before.
Yes. That's how I first met you. When I first started as the president and CEO of the chamber, I went to a Normandy Fountain Business Association event, and that's how we met.
Yes, that's how we met. And yesterday we had another one just like it. And it's amazing how this is a walk traffic. So what it does, it creates the community comes to a spot. Aurora, she's on the corner of Abbot on my same block. And David created through a Normandy Fountain a map to all the shops that should visit. And I was so surprised to see how many clients that live behind the shop, just a few blocks away, they didn't know we were there.
Oh my gosh.
And I would remind and tell them, it's only been 35 years, and they were making a joke out of it. But we're always on the go. We're always so quick. We get on the cars, we drive, and you don't take your time to really walk your neighborhood. And this type of events make a huge difference because they're able to walk inside the shop, see what you have to offer. And every business we provide, I give a sample of flowers to every customer that came in yesterday. And my next door neighbors, they did the empanadas, and everyone going down the block, they had different samples. But for us, it's great to know that we have clients that even though they live within walking distance, they don't know we were there. So this is so important to keep the community together.
And there is, if you haven't done it, there is just something so fun about going into a floral shop. It's just fun. I'm like a kid in a candy store when I go into a floral shop and like looking at flowers and chatting with you and arranging and designing bouquets and just it's just a fun and it's something I think I don't want to say it's a dying art necessarily, but I think a lot of people just take it for granted, and there's so much that you can do there and have fun with. So I really, truly encourage our viewers to go and check it out. You're right there on...
We're on 71st Street, right across the street from the fountain.
I'm like, is it called Normandy Avenue? No.
71st Street.
71st
right on the other
Street.
side is Normandy.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, so they're right there on site. It's right next to the fountain. You can't miss it. Abbot Florist. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
I have two more questions for you. Is there a place in Miami Beach that will always remind you of like why you just love the city, that it brings back great memories? It's like your go-to. I hate calling them like your hidden gem, because then I tell you to tell everyone what it is, and it's no longer going to be your hidden gem and your hidden spot. So if you don't want a bunch of people going there, maybe pick a different place. But is there that one spot in the city for you?
I will have to say I love Miami Beach. I grew up in Miami Beach, and I love all the parts of Miami Beach: South Beach, Beach Beach, and North Beach. But of course, I'm so attached to North Beach because that's where I have the business and that's where I used to live. And I would have to say, going back to it, it's just the fountain itself. I mean, it's such a beautiful place. And it's so beautiful to see how many families come to all the different events and how many memories were growing through them. Yeah. And I remember being at the fountain events and seeing the kids from babies to now being in elementary and growing. And it's just so beautiful to see the families come over and over to all these events.
Yeah, it is truly a gathering spot in the community, the fountain. And again, David is doing an amazing job. The businesses are doing an amazing job. The chamber, we will be more active and more involved with your help and your support as being one of our North Beach members, and really tapping into that community, because it's incredible. It really truly is, and there's such a heart there that we love. So my last question I ask all of my guests: if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give her?
I will say to my younger self is, don't doubt yourself too much. Trust yourself more, because Did you doubt yourself? Did you doubt taking over this business and opening up this floral shop and thinking that, oh my God, we're going to be celebrating a 35th anniversary? What happened is, as when my mom passed away, my dad kept the business for a few years, and then I started working, and I went into college for a completely different career.
What did you go to college for?
For the early childhood teaching.
Okay.
Which I love, because I love teaching the flower classes, and I feel like I'm a teacher too. And I just was afraid, because this was my family legacy, so I had a lot of pressure to take on the business and continue and make my parents proud. So that was what I said I would doubt myself. But if I would go back to them, I would say, trust yourself. I think I'm capable of doing a lot more than I trusted myself doing.
That's incredible advice. I don't think I can top that. I do not think that I can top that. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. We've had a great time with you, Romina. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for another episode next week.
Thank you. Have a great day.